Good morning. It is 9 o'clock on May the 9th, 2023, and it's a Tuesday morning here in California. Get an audio check here. There we go. And then see if this other screen comes live. Hello, hello, wake up over there. There he goes. That one's already muted. Baby Beast is muted. Doug, what are you going to talk about today? I realized 5 minutes before the show started, I didn't really know. I know there was a couple topics that I thought that I wanted to talk about today, but I didn't flag them. I didn't queue them up for a reminder. So I've got a couple of things floating around in my head, but I'm going to go start with the chat room. First, so funny. What was that? First, so funny. Why did that scroll away so quick? First, so funny. I guess it says it's funny because Bobby's first. Ida Rivera, one Doug too many. Oh wait, two Dougs too many. Love your creativity. For those who didn't get to see the trailer, I've been running trailers before the live stream. Trailer can be I think up to 2 minutes long. I have to call them back later. And it's a short little clip that I put prior to the live stream beginning, and that could be viewable as much as 24 hours earlier or 23 hours earlier whenever I put that up. There's another one calling. And I had a client call just before, so 3 different clients calling within 10 minutes for the time. I think this is going to be a busy day. By the way, there might be another live stream later today. The creativity, yeah. So if you don't look at my next configured live stream, you're not going to see those. For those of you who aren't able to join during the live stream, you can go see the trailer anytime prior to that by simply going to youtube.com, like I'm demonstrating here, /LWTDB, which is the acronym for my channel, then /live. That will take you to the current running live stream or the next scheduled live stream if it has been scheduled yet. Usually I will schedule the stream for tomorrow within a few hours after finishing today's stream. So when you go to that, you would be able to watch the trailer, even if you can't join us during a live stream. Right now it takes me to the current running live stream because, well, there's a live stream running right now. What do you know about that? Unless you're watching this on replay. So the trailer, if you didn't see it yesterday or didn't see it today, too late. It's gone, over with. Because I'm probably only going to run those 2 days at a time. Darren Gill, and it's basically a fun little clip. It's a creative outlet for me. Maybe entertaining. You'll have to be the judge of that. Tim Sal says, good morning, everyone. Tim Sal says, I think all those Dougs are moving Ken's icons around. You got me figured out. Then Brian Lightfoot, I finally figured it out. We have an olive tree and Doug is changing oil on the car. That means the Dougs use olive oil in their car. Simple, right, Mr. Watson? Now, for the people who didn't get to see the trailer, you got no idea what is he talking about. Olive tree, oil in the car, olive oil. Anyone who didn't see that trailer, you're just out of the loop. So sorry. Tim Sal laughs at Brian's comment. Carl J, hello Doug in chat. Selden Ball, I know the time to wait used to be in the lower left. It was. Now it's in the upper right as part of a flyout that can be minimized. Is that due to an option available when uploaded? No, it is not. And if you have seen the last 2 trailers that I did, there was, let's see, the trailer that showed before this episode and before yesterday's episode, same trailer, 2 days in a row. One of the Dougs said that the show will begin in the time indicated in the lower left corner of the screen, which for me, I have to remember to point to my right because that's your lower left. And 2 trailers ago, meaning 3 days ago, which would have been Friday, I think. That's where I said the time would be as far as when the show's going to start. And then I realized, no, that's not the case, because it's up there in the upper right. It's kind of straight across there. If I have a trailer, from what I can deduce so far, if there is a trailer playing before a live stream, then the countdown for when the show is going to start, or the time of when the show is going to start, shows on a flyout. That's on the right hand side of the screen. But if there's no trailer, the time still shows on the lower left. I think my right, your left, lower left. So I think that's still the case. I don't like that they did that, because I think it's a nuisance. Now that flyout, when the trailer starts playing, that flyout is expanded, so it's actually hiding a portion of the trailer. And sometimes my trailers could be short enough that that flyout stays open. Well, there's a little arrow pointed to the right you can click on to close the flyout, and then there's an arrow pointed to the left. Yeah, my right, your left. That you can fly that out to see when the show's going to play. But once that flyout is closed, there is no place on the screen that you can tell what time does the show start. I mean, you can see in my thumbnail for the Saturday show, but that's Pacific time, so that doesn't help you. It is not an option that I can change. I don't like that they did it that way. I don't think it, I don't, who thought that would be helpful? Ugh. So that's my response to Seldom Ball. Oh yeah, it's here it's 60 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. LJ, hello. LJ, you've been around for a while. Why are you not blue? Add as moderator, standard moderator, click save. Zavine Benor, hello. Greg M, hello. William Dawson, Florida. From Florida Sound. Is that a location? Florida Sound. Wintermute, Robert, Mark, Baggett, Lawn Dog. Bobby Warren says, Doug, I can't make it for tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, and be back on Saturday. I will be gone on vacation, Disney, hotels, and parks. Don't have good Wi-Fi. Well, have a blast, Bobby. My last time going to Disneyland was not fun. And not good phone service. It was because of family drama, not because of Disneyland. Lawn Dog. Hey, Greg M., did you see that the UK Chili Green has got a live 24-hour cat cam going? Yeah, that's what I want to see. Cat for 24 hours. BDC, hello. Dennis, olive oil is also the name of Popeye the Sailor Man's girlfriend. Sure enough. My childhood crush. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Good mornings back and forth. Greg to Lawn Dog. Nope, been battling several hardware issues and peripherals here. Hey, Greg M., I may have had a temporary senior moment due to quick thinking. Quick thinking caused a temporary senior moment. Interesting. I might have been confused temporarily. Somehow in my head, I thought you might follow a lot of the hot sauce crowd. Oh, all right. That's what you say. Okay, gonna move through a little bit quicker. Well, do not be like me and be an irresponsible adult. I will use any excuse to not do what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, so I'm gonna do a Dougism here. Do not be like me and be an irresponsible adult. That implies that Lawn Dog is a responsible adult. Or do not be like me and be an irresponsible adult. That's implying that Lawn Dog considers himself to be an irresponsible adult. Don't pick apart my pick apart, because you'll just get picked apart. Jeff the Lawn Dog, when you get old like me, you will no longer need the excuse. Yeah, that's right. I don't need an excuse to not do what I'm supposed to be doing. If I choose not to do what I'm supposed to be doing, I just don't do it. There's nobody here to report to. Okay, again, I had a temporary senior moment upon reflection. I kind of thought, what the heck am I thinking? Yes, I've been watching your work since 2021. Oh, from Al J. Yeah, I've seen I know your name. No, I don't know why you weren't a moderator. Lawn Dog. I don't know, do I know your name from comments on videos rather than in live streams? That would be a reason. Lawn Dog says, but you live in Canada. One of the great hot sauce guys is thy name Haiku. Of course, I spelled that wrong. He's a big shot in the industry, runs a lot of that big hot sauce festivals, which are coming to your area as soon as it warms up. Bobby's going to Disney World, not Disneyland. Yeah, my unpleasant experience was Disneyland in the LA area, which is the only Disney property I have ever been to. Lawn Dog, yeah, it can be painful to mess with the hot stuff. I have kind of do not mess with the crazy stuff anymore, level 1 or 3. Happy as I can be. Oh, there's that YouTube channel that does interviews with famous people or important people, politicians, or stars, where they're having an interview while eating chicken wings with hot sauce. Super, super hot. Crazy fun stuff they do. Probably a mix of both, depends what time it is. My last time in Orlando, a scammer bumped into my rental car was a mess. A man was driving, not the person that signed for the rental car, that was in 2015. A flight cancellation added an additional week. You're talking about the Hot Ones, Doug. That's the name of that YouTube show. I figured somebody would come up with that. Now, let's go look at channel comments, because there's some stuff there. Tony Wallow, this was a surprise, total surprise. Not that Tony Wallow would say something nice in comments, but he actually got a comment on that trailer, the trailer tree thinning trailer. That is an unlisted video on my channel. How, Tony, did you even get to that? See right here, it's unlisted. I'm not aware of how you could get to that. If I even go to my channel, let's see, if I go to my channel on YouTube, not the what do they call it? YouTube Studio, Creator Studio, and go look on videos, I don't think it shows up here. You can't see that. This is showing the latest. So that trailer does not show up here even for me. Tony, how did you make a comment on that unlisted video? I don't get it. Well, there's the olive tree, and there's Tree Trimmer Doug. See, I could play that for you now, for those of you who haven't seen it, or those of you who watch this video later and didn't come in to see the trailer. This trailer is not going to be on any more videos. So the only way you could see it is somebody convinces me to play that during this live stream. That way somebody playing the video on playback will be able to see it. I don't know that I'm going to do that. You guys are going to have to convince me to do that. Oh, I got to go more on comments. So go to Tony's comment, thumbs up and heart. Is Tony even in the live chat? No, he hasn't shown up in live chat yet. So I guess he can't tell me how he did that. How did you do that? Now here's somebody on this video is getting a lot of attention lately. How to upgrade Windows 10 Home to Windows 10 Pro. This person, Alejandro Garliano, says, thanks a lot, it works. Give him a thumbs up and a heart. And then this one, repairing a dead HP all-in-one that won't turn on, from Lezedewala. Butchered that, I'm sure. He says, hi guy, please help. I used the wrong adapter on my HP 2021 all-in-one PC. Now it doesn't want to turn on. So finally we got a tech question in comments. The purpose of these Windows Daily episodes is to respond to Windows tech questions. So here's The only tech question I have that has been posed to me this morning. So he's got one of these HP all-in-ones apparently. When he's saying he used the wrong adapter, I'm pretty sure that means the power adapter, the AC adapter. He probably got a AC adapter where the plug fit, but maybe he didn't check to see the power output on that adapter and compare it to the power requirements of the computer. When he plugged it in, it could have blown something up inside the computer. Or something else could have happened. So the only comment I have right now is I'm going to have to deduce or assume that you have acquired the right adapter. If you haven't done that, of course, get the right adapter would be my first response. And then the next response would be to open it up and remove the CMOS battery like I believe I demonstrated that in this video. Opening up the computer and remove the CMOS battery, because that's going to remove all the remaining power from the motherboard, and then connect the correct adapter. And I suggest you get the adapter that is for that model computer. Don't just get one that has the same voltage and amperage rating. Most of the time that will work, but in your case, because of the situation you've got here, I suggest you go find the right one, which means go to Amazon and search. I don't even have a model number here, but go into Amazon, put in the full model of your computer, and then look at the detailed descriptions on Amazon for each of the adapters that you find, and make sure it lists the model of HP that you have. With the 2021 model, you can probably go to HP's website and get it. If going to HP's website, you would want to get the serial number of the computer. You should be able to find it on a label on the back of the computer. Go to hp.com. I'm going to show you how to do this. Go to support and then go to software and drivers. You might be tempted to go to support and troubleshooting, but I like going this direction better. And then select probably going to select other, because that looks more like the all-in-one, and put in your serial number here and submit that. If I had a sample serial number on with me right now, I'd be able to do that or demonstrate to you. If you reply in the comment and give me the serial number, I will demonstrate it tomorrow. I will go search for the AC adapter for you to purchase. That's very much what this channel is about, is helping people through things, but I need your serial number for that. Once you submit this, then there should be an option to select accessories or parts, part purchases. I wonder if I could find a sample serial number. If you reply, well, let's see. Now, the best thing is just reply with your serial number. Let's get this out of here. And let's see, what else do I got to say on that? So we get the correct adapter. Try it. Just go ahead and try it. If it works, then boom, you're good to go. If it still doesn't work, then you have to open up the computer, pull out the CMOS battery, and put it back in. I don't know that that's going to fix it. The adapter that you connected to it could have blown up an electrical component on the motherboard. If that did happen, you may or may not be able to detect a burnt smell when you get real close to the back of the computer. If you do smell a burnt smell now, don't even bother with it. You're done. I'm sorry. It's over with. Unless you go to somebody, unless you take it to somebody who can actually do motherboard component level repair. But I'm suspecting that computer's not valuable enough to pay for that. So, have I covered everything I can say there? I think I have. Now, I'm going to, after today's live stream is over, I'm going to reply to this and give a time index of when I started responding to this person, so that they can go click on that and get my response off of there. Now, continuing in the chat room. Jeff Ryman, when I was a child, my mother went to California to visit relatives while school was going, and went to Disneyland without me. Oh, what an awful mother she was. No, I'm kidding. Lawn Dog. And there are some channels that do nothing but hot sauce reviews. The most famous one, Johnny Scoville. The name of the channel is Chase the Heat. Been following him for like 7 years. He knows me very well. So how inappropriate was the adapter that he used? You need to compare the voltage ratings for the output to the ones needed by the computer. It sounds like the adapter plugged in to the port, so it may have made a connection. But if you had the wrong voltage, that's where damage can occur. Absolutely, exactly correct. Sai, let's hope that power adapter was not supplying AC current rather than DC current. I don't know that I've ever seen an adapter that supplies AC current as an output, but I suppose that could be. Hopefully HP designed that motherboard with voltage limiters on the power in the jack. Yeah, hopefully. May have popped a fuse. Now there's an interesting point. Could it have popped some kind of a fuse on the motherboard? I've never come across that. Never let the smoke get out. Hopefully everything will be okay. So sorry this happened. And I'm sure that's a response to the person having the trouble with the HP, at least I think. All right. I do have a auto redirect set up to Kerry Holzman's show that he has at his usual start time. The start time that he has on Fridays is the start time that he has for today's show. And anytime that you want to get to that, to Kerry's show, similar as getting to my live stream, you can do youtube.com/Kerry Holzman/live. And that'll get you to the next scheduled live stream for the person that you're looking at. And here I see Darren Gale Holmes, part of our motley crew, is already there and interacting. The other names I recognize from Kerry's channel, but I don't think I've seen them around here. Why? Just kidding. Roy Care says resistor, fuse. I've never come across a method to replace that or reset it on a motherboard. Is that a thing? Can you replace or reset a fuse on a motherboard without soldering? I don't think so. And what's the point of protecting the rest of the board with a fuse of some sort if it's not easily serviceable, reasonably serviceable? I had a problem on a laptop before from Roy. All right. Other things I went out to a Office Depot yesterday and bought a Netgear gigabit switch. Doug, why did you do that? Well, Doug, I was called out to a client's office. He says, I can't connect to the internet. I tried connecting to his computer remotely and I found that other computers in his office were functional. I had wires under his desk labeled as to what they were, and I recently changed out all the Ethernet cables under his desk. There's several of them because there's a network switch under his desk. There's a Ethernet wall outlet, goes to a network switch, and then an Ethernet goes to his computer. Another Ethernet goes to another computer that's under his desk that his employee who lives in New York City, connects to that one remotely. There's no monitor connected to it. There's no keyboard, mouse connected to it. It's just a computer sitting there. So, and then another Ethernet line comes out of that network switch to his telephone because he has an IP telephone. So this network switch under his desk, I had him disconnect and reconnect Ethernet cables and the light for the port for the blue Ethernet, which is the only blue Ethernet that goes to the wall port. It was not lit, so I had him disconnect and reconnect the cable at the switch, had him disconnect and reconnect to the wall outlet. It's not enough to just push it in or wiggle it. Disconnect it and put it back in. I had to explain to him, you got to push that little clip on the RJ45 jack. I didn't call it that. I just told him there's a little clip, kind of like a telephone plug. You got to depress that to take it out, put it back in, make sure you hear and feel the snap. I also had him disconnect the power from the Ethernet switch and reconnect it. None of those things brought it back to life. So I told him, well, it sounds like your wall port is dead. And so then I went over to his office. I got there about 20 minutes after the phone call. I brought a ladder with me because I knew I needed my ladder in order to get up high enough so I could comfortably look at his network equipment, which was on a shelf above. One shelf is at the top of the hallway that you walk under it. It's kind of an overpass, I'll call it. I don't know. And then in the bathroom right next to it, there's another shelf that has more of the network equipment. The 2 Comcast internet routers for that office are up there. There's 2 offices that share the same office space. So there's 2 routers, there's 2 switches, there's 2 banks of patch panels, but those patch panels are mixed between the office. They're not clearly for the 2 offices because this used to be one business in this office space. So anyway, what I determined is if I take the Ethernet cable that comes down through the ceiling and plugs into the patch panel, plugs into the network switch. No, got this wrong. The wire comes down from the acoustic tile ceiling to the patch panel, then a wire that's plugged into the patch panel going to a network switch. I tried at the network switch plugging that into a different port on the network switch, still get no life. I noticed that it was a similar network switch up there, which has these 4 ports and 4 ports, and I noticed all 4 of these on the left side were dead, no lights. Wound up determining that not only was the network switch half bad, but the wire coming to the patch panel was bad. Somewhere between that port and the wall outlet, that wire is bad. So there's 2 problems there. Now, after I'm there in his office, he says, oh, by the way, Doug, this might be related to that they were working on this office, yesterday or a couple days ago, whenever it was. My client is not in his office every day. He's winding down his business, only got 2 or 3 months more, and he's going to give up the office entirely. There was some flood damage. And so something they did up there, I think, severed that connection. I took my Ethernet tester. I had this with me as well, where this comes apart and I can plug one end into a wall outlet, plug the other end into the patch panel or anywhere that I'm needing to test to see if I've got connection. And so I can even demonstrate this right here. Oh, I probably don't have the battery plugged in. All right, Doug, your channel is all about actually demonstrating things live. So could you demonstrate that Ethernet tester for us? Oh, I guess so. It'll take a little time to do it, but since you insisted and pushed me for it. So there's an Ethernet cable, and you see those lights running down on your left. My right, yeah. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then that one that says G, you say, Doug, G, why doesn't the G light lit up? You can't speak well, can you? Well, that's because the Ethernet port doesn't use a ground wire. These test other types of connections too, including phone lines. So somebody somewhere uses the ground wire, not Ethernet. So anyway, with all of that, I was absolute, no doubt about it, there's a problem between the patch panel and this wall outlet. So I took a long cable, ran it along the surface, taped it against the wall so it's not a trip hazard. And then he's going to have to, his landlord, well, no, he'll probably have to have the cabling person come out, but he's going to try to recover from his landlord for this because it's the landlord's responsibility for the flood damage, so he says. Okay, so that was a Tech Tales story. Since let's keep postponing this alarm. Since Carrie's video is Amazon deals and I am in Canada, I will be doing other things. Got it. It is soldered. That's referring to that fuse on the motherboard. Greg, wow, Office Depot's still around. They closed up shop here in Canada decades ago, just like Target. Yep, we still have it. Dead port on the switch is actually 4 ports, the whole half, and they're clearly it's a half of that switch that they were all dead. But it for a little bit of time it was a little bit confusing because I could find that the other wires that were plugged into the 4 left-hand ports, they were all full. I could plug them into one of the ports on the right side and they would light up, which told me there's live equipment out there for all of them. But again, this office is kind of running on most of their people work from home now anyway. So they didn't realize what other devices in the office aren't working. But at one point I could say, now wait a minute, what's wrong here? Is it the switch or is it the wiring? Well, it's both. Now, what caused this problem for the switch? There was another thing that happened about a week prior at this same attorney's desk, is that the network switch under his desk was dark. It wasn't working. So this was another instance where he wasn't connected to the internet. Now when he called me, he says, I'm not getting emails. He didn't complain about not being connected to the internet. It was that he couldn't get emails. So I worked with him by phone and with FaceTime, because we both have iPhones. So we looked through everything in there and wound up concluding that the wall outlet for power, the electrical wall outlet, was bad. No power coming out of that. So he got another power strip and connected to a different wall outlet, and we were able to get him back up and running. So there's a problem with that electrical wall outlet. It's just, he and I both are a little bit uneasy about the state of wiring in this office. Now, was that electrical outlet damage due to the water damage up in the ceiling and they weren't aware of water damage yet? I went out to his office during that instance a week ago and did some other, I labeled some cables and such to make our troubleshooting easier down the road. And I looked at the ceiling tiles and they looked okay. The ceiling tiles around the network equipment were okay. But yesterday when out there, this ceiling tile was severely warped and discolored. Obviously had a puddle of water there, and that was right next to the network equipment. All right, so I have finished my half-hour worth. Both of these switches are unmanaged. I don't need to have managed equipment in this office. When it comes to fuses these days in electronic equipment, they do not look like a traditional use, especially on a laptop motherboard. They actually look like surface mount component. I kind of suspected that. I will catch up on chat messages after I finish just scanning through. Sorry about the word God getting in there. Thank you, Dragon's Naturally Speaking. Oh, Lawn Dog is using Dragon Naturally Speaking for his voice dictation. All right, that's enough. Hang it up, Doug. Give it up. Give it a rest. Let these people go back to whatever they're doing. If you want to send a question to me by email, you can do it that way. I respond during live streams. I'm unlikely to respond by email. And you can also ask questions on comments on any of my videos or in the chat room during a live stream. So that's 3 ways to send questions that I'll respond to. So I hope that's been useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.